Drew, hey, just curious. Last year, the Chiefs were pretty aggressive in how they approached you. Would you expect that again? And are you getting a feel for kind of how defensive coordinators look at you as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can expect them to come at us. That's kind of their defense. So, I mean, they got guys that love to rush the passer. Tyrann Mathieu, an extremely skilled guy back there, especially with rushing the passer as well. All their corners and safeties can make plays on the ball. This is a tough task for us, without a doubt. And we got to put together a good week of practice and just be ready to go. As far as how I feel D coordinators are playing us, I mean, we got a good amount of pressure last game. A lot of man, some zone here and there. So I feel like people are really mixing it up on us. Definitely not afraid to blitz me, try to get me to move around the pocket, make steps that, maybe I should have stepped up once, or maybe I should have pushed out of the pocket. As long as I know my job and I know where to go with the football, and I am – how do I say this? I am disciplined in my footwork and going from read to read, then I feel like you could really play me however you want. As long as I know my job, I'll be confident out there.
Next one, Mike Liss.
Drew, we might ask this twice a year for the next 10 to 15 years, but with Patrick Mahomes on the other side, do you feel pressure you're going to have to put it up and put up the points?
As a quarterback, you pretty much feel that pressure every single game to put up points. Pat has been known to put up a lot of points in that offense. So, I mean, if you want to go off stats and how many points they score a game, then technically speaking, you'd want to be a little prepared to have to put a lot of points up. But I feel like our defense is playing their butt off right now. I'm proud of the way they played last week. They kept us in that game. And there's no saying that they can't go out and play an awesome game on Sunday and do a great job. Kareem and Justin, maybe get a few guys back on the D-line and just let those guys roll and come out their A game. We'll see how things turn out.
Next one, Arnie Stapleton.
Hey, Drew, a big point of emphasis was made this offseason on adding speed to your roster to kind of keep up with the Chiefs. What do you think a healthy Hamler would provide for your offense? And also, do you think Judy's kind of due for a big breakout?
Yeah, KJ would be big. We've all been really excited to see him out on the field, and we got a little taste of that in Pittsburgh. And we're just excited for him to hopefully come back and, start helping us on the field a little bit. As far as Jerry goes, anytime Jerry Judy's on the field, you should expect a breakout day from him. That's just the type of player he is. That's the type of mentality that he brings to the field. And that's the type of player that we all know he is on the offensive side of the ball. And so, yeah, anytime, any given Sunday, Jerry can come out and have a breakout day.
Next one, Mark Kisler.
This question is to be the best, you got to beat the best type of question. What kind of measuring stick do you think this game is, or is that overstated?
Well, the measuring stick there is that it's a division game. That's big. And if you're going to look at it in the heart of Broncos country, it's even bigger. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, and if you want to look at it in my heart, it might be pretty big too. It's my hometown, and at the same time, I can't let that change the way I play. This is just a regular game. Go through my reads, try to push us down the field and score points. But no, this is just another week. This week, we're going to come out and prepare it the same way, extremely hard, and be ready to go Sunday like it's any other Sunday.
Guys, next we'll have Nick Kosminer and then open it up to the entire group. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Drew, obviously that was your only loss last year as a starter up there. What were just some of the biggest things you learned outside of, Jeff mentioned they came and they attacked you, but what were just some of the lessons that you learned after a game like that against a team that obviously went on to do what it did?
Yeah, well, I found out I can still throw the football in snow. So that was a big first one for me. Found out a lot about just who their players are on defense. It's always nice to be able to play that team. Well, this would be my first time, actually, but playing a team that you've already played to where you know those guys, you know how they move, you kind of know how they think. I've seen Frank Clark rush the passer a couple times in that game. I've seen Chris Jones rush the passer a couple times that game. It's just you know what to be aware of. You got a good idea on who you think they are. Now they could come out and throw something completely different at us. But it's comfortable feeling to know that you've played this team before and you know what to kind of expect.
Next one, Ed Warder, ESPN.
Yeah, Drew, obviously John Elway had a lot of faith in you as the quarterback, even though you hadn't played a lot going into the season, made a big commitment to, bolstering the offensive weaponry around you. How much do you benefit from his presence in terms of interacting with him on a somewhat regular basis?
Yeah, it's been huge for me. I think it's been one of my favorite parts is being able to come in after games and talk to him, kind of hear what he had to say, what he felt I could have done better, what he thought I did good, and stuff to, look forward to and do better going into the next week. Anytime you got a guy like that in your corner, it's a huge help. And when I say after the game, I mean it's immediately after the game. I come in a little late because we do the press stuff and on the field to where I come in, it's almost halfway broken down with Vic. And me and him right after that, we'll talk. Emotions are high. It's a very real moment for both of us. And it's been nice to kind of have that feedback and talk right after the game.
Next one, Sam McDowell, KC Star.
Hey, what's up, Drew?
Hey.
You mentioned being your hometown. At what point do you feel like, that won't be part of your mind when you play these guys? Or do you think that's always going to be at least a little bit of piece of you when you play the Chiefs?
Yeah, it's hard to forget 21, 22 years of your life, especially when I'm only 23 now. It's my first full year out of Kansas City. They'll always, everyone remembers their hometown. So there'll always be that feeling of, my parents are actually leaving Kansas City to come see the game type deal. It's nothing that makes you play different. It's nothing that, I'm so amped up this game this week. Here we go. Like, that's not how it works. You should be amped up for every single game every week. But it is cool. I'll say that. It is cool to be able to, kind of put the Darth Vader mask on and, steer away from the Jedi and come to the dark side, so to say, over here in Denver. It's kind of like playing that guy. Hopefully I can be that guy and get a win this Sunday and start the rivalry a little bit.
Next one, Troy Rank.
Yeah, Drew, good to see you, my man. You guys, is the locker room aware of the history of the 9 straight losses and you want to be the villain? How much does it help you, how much confidence Shermer showed in you? We can always see kind of what a OC believes in a quarterback by the play calling. They had no fear of going deep a lot. So how much does that kind of help you when you return to the lineup? And are guys aware of that it's been since Manning that you've beaten the Chiefs?
Oh, without a doubt. It's apparent. It's been said. Shoot, I probably had it told to me 3 or 4 times today, and we don't even get to be around each other. We're doing all the virtual stuff. You hear it through virtual meetings, and it's being said. Be nice to maybe snap that streak, but yeah, it's definitely, I'll say it's definitely a known thing, and we're excited about giving that opportunity to be able to stop that. And what was the second part of the question, Troy?
Troy, go ahead.
When you were so many deep strikes in that game plan, how much did that give you confidence? Because how we see a game called kind of is a reflection of the confidence he has in you. Does that?
Yeah, it's been nice. Like I said, I think after the game, a lot of coaches, ask you how you want to get back in this game. I've been out for a little bit and dialed up a 9-ball outside, a little alert outside, and that was it. That was gonna be the first ball I threw, and that in itself really speaks to me about how much Coach Shermer knows who I am as a player. A little check down is not gonna make me feel warmed up and ready to go, but rearing one back and letting it fly kind of lets me feel kind of in the game a little bit.
Guys, time for 2 more. Next one, Hey Gregorian, KC Star.
Hey, Drew, good to see you. Hey, along the lines of what Sam McDowell was asking you, what do you think you got out of that game last year? I know you're saying now that you won't play differently, but I'm sure there was a little hurdle there. And then I have one follow-up after that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. It's definitely nice to have the first one out of the way, especially in Kansas City. I can go back there for the second game, and we've already done it. We've already felt it. So I wouldn't say there was a hurdle with it, but there's definitely some extra thought about it. I mean, you're going home. Any guy that goes home is if Phil was playing for someone else and he came here to Denver, like, oh man, there's Denver, I'm back home. Like, everybody has that back home feeling. It doesn't change the way they play in a game, but everyone has that, and sometimes it's fun to have that. It's cool to come in and be like, wow, this is where I grew up, and I'm playing on the biggest stage that when I was a kid in 8th grade, playing out in my middle school, I wanted to go play in the NFL one day, and now I'm doing it in my hometown, but I'm not on that team.
And just along those lines too, you mentioned the Darth Vader thing. I'm curious if you can speak to why you enjoy that, and a little bit of how that's played out when you've been home. Have you had some episodes where you've had to been confronted or just sort of strutted your stuff?
Yeah, well, of course you automatically become the bad guy if you're from Kansas City and you go play for Denver. It just amplifies it even more that I went to the University of Missouri. I'm born there. I went there, never even left. Devoted those 22 years, like I said, to that state and to that city. And then in an instant, it's gone. Like I changed sides there and come to the light over here. Come to the good old Denver side. It's fun. It's fun, especially just I've always been the good guy. Everyone back in Kansas City, that's you're a true son if you go to Missouri and be from Missouri, and that's just the vibe that I got everywhere. I was in Lee Summit. Everyone knew who you were as the Missouri kid, and now it's like, oh, he used to be that guy, but now he's a Denver Bronco. My family gets it. My cousins get it. It's one of those things. It's like, do I put my Bronco shirt on today to go walk around Kansas City? Without a doubt, I do. I'm going to put it on and be prideful for what it is.
Final one, Eric.
Drew, Andy Reid said today that you play big. What does it mean to hear him compliment you like that? And then do you agree with that notion that you tend to maybe play bigger than you practice or kind of turn it on in those big moments?
Yeah. Any compliment from Andy Reid is one that you can take to the grave and be proud of. That's for sure. My dad has always spoke highly of him from back in his days of playing. He's well respected in Kansas City everywhere you go, and well respected in the NFL. He put together a great team last year that won the Super Bowl. So, like I said, any compliment from him is great. But I kind of, it takes a lot of focus in practice. The lights aren't on. You're not scoring touchdowns necessarily, but everything you do in practice will come into the light on Sunday. And I feel like we practice hard enough. We try to be disciplined enough in practice to where we can come out and try to make those big plays. We've seen the looks. We know our plays. We know our scripts. We know everything to be able to go out there and play big, take the shots when they're there. Because we're confident in the plays that we're getting called, and we're confident in the guys around us to be able to go out there and try to make those big plays.